Story 1. Am I the asshole for kicking out my adult stepson? My 25-yo stepson, wife and I married for 6 years, together for 12, got his longtime girlfriend pregnant. I told him it's time to get a house with her to raise his child. They did. They got married, bought a house, and began to raise their son. 4 months ago, he shows up at our house with a suitcase and starts living with us. I knew it was a stressful time, but I guess he cheated on her with a coworker. Wife told me, not him. She wanted to figure out the relationship, but he refused. After a month of being in the house, I sit him down to get his side of the story. Not getting any reason other than he didn't feel like being with her anymore, I told him he had 3 options. 1. Go back to your wife and child and make every effort to right your wrongs. 2. Stay here, babysitting his son for 4 hours during the day while she was at work, and follow my house rules to the letter. Clean up after yourself every day, picking up all toys, washing all dishes made by him, showering after work, not before work, stay awake while watching him. 3. Leave my house and figure things out on your own. He works nights, and I found he was staying after work unnecessarily, drinking before going to sleep for a few hours and waking up when his son got dropped off only to fall asleep on the couch when he should be watching his not even 2-year-old. After a few nice and then a few not so nice reminders for him to stay awake, he told me to essentially mind my own business and he will do what he wants. I told him he has chosen option 3 and I don't want him in my house any longer. This led to a fight with my wife, and she said if he leaves, she will leave as well. AITA, here, edit, shower rule. For the first month he would come home from his dirty job and get into my guest room bed and shower right before going to work, presumably for the benefit of the other girl. Edit. First month my wife and I talked about his situation a bit while I waited for him to come to me about what's going on. Discussions of expectations for the adult children in the house have been had. He is the second of 3 kids. The oldest had a rocky exit from the house, but he is married, trying for kids, and we have a great relationship.
I think he is not an asshole. What do you guys think? Comment below. Story 2. AITA for telling my daughter that I'm disappointed in her. Hello all. It's been rough with my only daughter as of late. My husband and I, both of us are 55, have 1 daughter, 30F. We have been married coming up on 32 years soon. My daughter was in a long relationship and married for approximately 9 years, and for a long time I thought that was a good relationship, when out of nowhere around 3 years ago, she decided to divorce her ex-husband. We were told it was a mutual decision, but that ultimately he wasn't the greatest partner, and there were many things that she was not satisfied with in their relationship. So she wanted to leave. We supported her decision. About a year after the divorce, she introduced us to her new boyfriend. And while my husband and I thought it may be a bit early to date, we decided to continue to support her and meet him. He was and is a very charming man who treats our daughter wonderfully, and you can tell she is extremely happy. Now to the argument. Recently we were talking with one of our daughter's friends who was visiting our town, and were discussing our daughter's job and her wonderful boyfriend. Her friend in the conversation made a comment about how they were lucky to be in the same orientation together when they started work. As soon as she saw our confused faces, she gave us the full story, as she realized we hadn't been given it. Our daughter had told us while her and her boyfriend worked for the same employer, they didn't meet until after the divorce. We pressed the friend for more information, and she begrudgingly told us that our daughter and her boyfriend had met during orientation at work while our daughter was going through her marital issues. This led to them becoming closer, and her filing for divorce from her ex-husband about a year later. So later that day, I asked to have a conversation with my daughter and brought up what her friend had told us. She turned white as snow and basically confirmed her friend's story, but reiterated that there was no physical cheating. I told her that physical cheating was not the only way that you could hurt someone, and that it appeared that she had emotionally cheated on her ex-husband. He may not have been the greatest person, but it didn't excuse her actions. I told her that I was disappointed in her, and while I supported her leaving a bad marriage, that I couldn't look at her and her boyfriend the same in this new light in regards to cheating. I still love her and will treat her boyfriend with respect, but it is definitely something I have a hard time looking past. She got angry with me for not continuing to support her in her journey beyond divorce. Am I the asshole?
I think she is an asshole. What do you people think? Comment below. Story 3. Am I the asshole for faking sleeping all night to see if my wife is lying? The past couple of months, my wife has been complaining about our cats. She's been claiming that the cats wake her up constantly and that she's frustrated every night that she has to get up and open the door for the cats, or the cats keep making noises, or the cats keep jumping on her. It got to the point where she started saying she wants me to get rid of them. I told her I've never seen or heard any of this, but she claims I sleep through it all. She kept telling me she was getting less and less sleep and kept acting aggressive, blaming lack of sleep from the cats, and that if I didn't get rid of them, she'd leave me. I legitimately started considering giving the cats to my sister, until I noticed something. One morning she claimed she had gotten up multiple times throughout the night to help the cats. She listed a bunch of times. I thought it was weird, because I had been up until 4 a.m., and she claimed that she got up at 1 a.m. to open the door for them, and a few times around 3 a.m. because they were meowing and jumping on her. I was in the bedroom the entire time while she slept, and I know none of that happened. Things weren't adding up, so I decided to run a test. I waited until she said she was going to bed, then I let the cats out of our bedroom, lowered my phone brightness, and faked going to sleep. I just laid there in bed for the entire night, bored, but I definitely did not fall asleep. I made sure to make timestamps every 30 minutes on my phone through Discord just to be sure. I marked down every noise my cats made. One cat had jumped down from something and made a little sound at 3:18 a.m., and one ate food relatively quietly by the bedroom door at 4:57 a.m. Other than that, nothing happened. Sure enough, my wife slept from 11 p.m. until 9 a.m., and that morning she claimed she had woken up at least 7 times to open doors and from cat noises and cats jumping on her. At this point, I was pissed because she was clearly lying to me. I was exhausted and fed up with the lies, so I just bluntly called her out on it. I told her, "That's funny. I stayed up all night to monitor the cats, and they weren't even in the room at all last night. I have timestamps and everything. So you've been lying to me and trying to convince me to get rid of my cats? Why?" She just sat there quietly shaking and looking pissed, then got up and left without answering. She came back hours later and ignored me whenever I talked. And when I asked her how I'm the bad guy in this situation, she finally said that I was treating her like a child by lying about sleeping and staying up all night just to see if she was lying or not, and that making timestamps and everything, as if I was an investigator, was going too far, and makes me an obsessive asshole. I did it because she was threatening to make me get rid of my cats or she'd leave me, and her claims didn't add up. So, am I an obsessive asshole? My wife has been Baker acted. She did not hurt herself, just said something concerning in public. I got a call from the hospital this morning asking me to head over for some family therapy. Apparently, she finally wanted to talk. I'll be honest, I'm pretty pissed at the reason why she's been so hateful towards my cats. It's absolutely asinine. It's nothing that anyone had suggested. She's not cheating. She's not sick physically or mentally. She's not bored of the relationship and looking for an out. According to her, one of the cats stepped on her laptop and ruined a story she was writing. She's hated both cats ever since. I mean, that sucks, but it's not worth trying to emotionally blackmail me into getting rid of them. I asked her why she didn't just tell me the truth and why she'd been lying and refused to talk about it when I'd asked. Her answer was, "Because you wouldn't have gotten rid of them otherwise," and explained that when she saw I wasn't willing to abandon them for her, she took offense and made it a goal to have me pick her over them. Sickening. Don't know why she actually admitted to it all. The woman with us asked me how I felt about all of it, and I just told the truth. I told her it was a nice run, but I'm probably going to want a divorce. I was asked why, and I told them. I've seen a new hateful, malicious side of her that I want nothing to do with. She was so set on getting rid of the cats over a fan fiction being ruined that she manipulated her husband. My wife started shouting at me that I've betrayed her and that I'm scum for choosing animals over her. At least cats don't give ultimatums like she gave. It sucks that she's been Baker acted and all, I guess, but it's for the best right now. She'll have time to process it all in a safe environment and hopefully come to terms with it. Bad husband, I know. I'm almost sure I'm going for divorce. I'm very worried about having her in the same house as my cats. I want my cats safe. I don't want to worry about them being harmed or disappearing. Screw that. I don't want to end it like this. but life isn't always nice.
I think he is not an asshole. What do you people think? Comment below.
Story 4.
Am I the asshole for asking someone to delete their story on Instagram? Hi everyone! I recently got engaged, and after a few weeks where me and my fiance personally told the news to our close family and friends, I decided to post a photo to my Insta feed. I have an ex-coworker who I don't consider a close friend, but we do exchange memes and funny videos through Insta DM. They are a nice person, but we don't really see each other except maybe once every few years when I'm in town. I'm by no means an influencer or public figure, so I don't think it matters much, but I like to keep my account private and never accept follow requests from people I don't know. It just gives me a little peace of mind. I want to add that this ex-coworker isn't aware of why I keep a private account because, like I said, we don't really interact much except exchange memes and funny videos. A few hours after I posted my photo, I received a notification that they'd tagged me in their story. I didn't know what it was about. Maybe an old photo that popped up on the "on this day X years ago" or something. When I opened it, I found that they had screenshot my post and reposted it to their story with a very heartfelt message saying that they were extremely happy for me and that my happiness is their happiness. While I found the message nice, the fact that they didn't ask if it was okay to do this wasn't cool with me. Not even my closest friends posted any pictures of when we got together to celebrate before asking if it was okay. I feel like they know me well enough to think that not asking beforehand would rub me off the wrong way. I did thank my ex-coworker for their message, but requested for them to delete this story because I don't feel comfortable with strangers that follow them seeing my photo, that I posted on my private account, out there. They took a few hours to reply, without removing the story, and long story short, they said that it was rude of me to ask them to take down the story because they were the #1 person on the list of people who are happy for me, that they didn't get why I thought this was wrong, and if all these years where they have always been such a supporting friend meant nothing to me. They ended the message apologizing for the way I'm looking at things, and that if I ever wanted to reach out, they'll always be there for me. God bless you. And took down the story. I thanked them for removing it, but they just left me on scene. Can anyone give me their feedback on whether I overreacted or not? I honestly didn't think they would make a big deal of it, maybe a quick, "Oops, sorry, I'll take it down," and case solved. I'm debating on whether or not I should apologize for asking them to do this and explain my privacy concerns so we can mend things. I also want to add that they have gotten married and had kids since, and I've never been invited to any of these milestones on their end, so this is why I'd assume we're not that close. Thanks in advance.
I think she is not an asshole. What do you people think? Comment below.
Story 5. Am I the asshole for paying for my half of the bill? I, 26F, barely go on dates since I'm always working and trying to save money to move out from the place I am in. I live with my mom and her boyfriend, however, I don't live off her. There is a difference. It's how to get a place. Anyway, I went on a date with a guy a couple nights ago and I had a great night. Or I thought. I told the waiter to split the bill so I can pay for my own food, but the guy snapped at me for saying that. However, I said again to the waiter I'm paying for my own bill. And I did. The guy told me that I'm selfish for paying for my own food when it should have been him since he's a gentleman, and he should have paid for his and my food. For people to understand my POV, since I got a job at the age of 15, I have always paid for my own items since my dad taught me to never expect a man to always pay for my items. But now, I feel guilty for paying for my half of the bill since the guy told me he didn't want to take me out again. Am I the asshole for paying for my half of the bill, or am I being selfish?
I think she is not an asshole. What do you people think? Comment below. Subscribe for more interesting stories.